Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. Hello, Aries. This week we have, on Tuesday, Mercury squaring Uranus. This is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with groups you belong to and self-worth. So I would just be cautious here not to overreact to anybody perhaps in the workplace or in groups that you belong to. If you I don't know, any acquaintances or associates that you belong to, if somebody offends you, you want to, of course, defend yourself, but in the highest vibration possible. This could definitely, trigger some arguments and shakeups in communications. So I would just, social media, be kind of careful when it comes to that. You might trigger, there might be some triggers there. And then on Wednesday, we have this new moon that is at the same degree as the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January 2020. So now we're a whole year later, and now we have to look at what did we learn in that year? What changed in our lives? Because nobody got out of 2020 without a major change going on. And for you, this happened in a part of the chart that had to do with your reputation and your career, or how we know you in the world, and, or your status. And something changed big there. Like there might have even been a complete restructuring of this area. Maybe it completely burned to the ground and you had to restructure it. But now we're taking the lessons that we learned and we're seeing how we can empower ourselves with the lessons that we learned from 2020. So, Pluto is intensity and it's soul contracts and it's karmic, but it's also evolution. And, Pluto's saying, well, this is where you had to change. You didn't have a choice. But now you can take your lessons and now you can be more powerful with them. You don't have to be like the sitting duck. You can kind of be armed with knowledge now, with wisdom and truth, because there's a new truth in this area for you. But truth can equal power as long as you use it in the correct way. And, if your intentions have anything to do with manipulation or having power over others, that is the lower manifestation of this. You want to have the highest manifestation where you are looking for your personal power to be changed and for you to, use that power for your highest good and for the highest good of people that you are around. And Venus is going to square Chiron at the same time, so wounds will be opened up, and it's going to have to do with, your independence, your drive. It's going to have to do with how people see you. And, those wounds are still there, but, you really just kind of have to look at them, and you have to decide how you're going to start healing them. What intentions are you going to set to start healing them? And as if there wasn't enough going on, Uranus is going to go direct the day after. And think about what was going on in August for you, because that's when Uranus went retrograde. And when Uranus goes direct, it's going to shake us free from something. So for you, this happens in a part of the chart that has to do with the income that you make, but also your self-worth and your resources. So I would say, this could be all of the above. You could be shaking up the way you earn money, and that could be contributing to your self-worth in some way. Maybe now you're more independent in the way that you earn money. So you're feeling better about yourself. You have more self-love and independence. And this is making a trine to Venus, which is saying your career area or your reputation is going to be supported. It looks very promising for a new beginning, Aries. I hope that you take this time to set intentions, to really think about how you're going to carry yourself forward from now on with how people see you, your reputation, and how you earn money. I think it's going to be very positive for you, Aries, and as long as you are mindful, I think that it's going to be a really good week and even a really good year.